Welcome back to another What Sold Weekend Edition video. These are my eBay sales from June 27th, Friday, June 27th until Monday morning, June 30th. I cannot believe that tomorrow is July already. Holy crap, this this spring flew by. I just can't believe how fast it went. I wish it would slow down just a little tiny bit. Anyway, before I jump into the sales, I will give a quick update on my mom and Max. I know I've seen it in a lot of the comments. I don't always get a chance to respond, but I do see your comments and your questions and stuff like that. But my mom's doing pretty good. She's healing up pretty well. Had to take her back for like a post-op checkup last week. And so yeah, she's doing pretty well. The tricky part is to get her feeling good enough to get one more surgery scheduled, or I should say rescheduled, because she was supposed to do it in August or April, and she just didn't feel like she could. So hopefully we'll be able to do that in the next couple months, because you know, she's not feeling great on the day-to-day basis until she really gets this done. So we'll see what happens. But she's doing well from her past surgery. So thank you guys for asking. And then Max, well, we got bad news with Max. I've been taking him in for blood work every week to check his albumin, and for 2 weeks, it looked like it was, you know, going up a little bit. It was going in the direction that it needed to go in, and then last week, it was back down to the lowest that it's been. And that is with all of the medication, that is with, you know, the new prescription food that he's on. So it was really, really kind of upsetting. And just kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of unexpected because his levels were going up and then they went back down. But my vet did speak with an internist that she's been consulting with, and they did say that sometimes like 18% of pugs do not respond to treatment. And now Max is only part pug, however. Max is part pug, part Jack Russell. But terriers also have a kind of a propensity for this type of disease that he has. So, you know, I don't really know, but as of right now, we have added an additional medication, which is quite costly, but I'm trying to do everything I can to keep this little guy, you know, as healthy as possible to enjoy, you know, the rest of his life. And we'll see what happens. This particular medication, he did have a rough start with it. He had some vomiting the first day he took it, but they said stay the course. That usually will abate. So they said just keep giving it to him, which I have, and he's had kind of like one other incident, but otherwise he does seem to be tolerating it pretty well. He's still on all the other medications. So he's on 4 medications a day now, which have to be given at all separate times. And he is on 1 shot a week. So the poor little guy is on quite a bit of stuff. If this new medication seems to be working, and this one we're going to check in a little over, at this point, it's a little over a week and a half, or about a week and a half till I have to take him back for more blood work. They want to do it every 2 weeks with this medicine instead of every week. Or at least for the first 2 weeks that he's on it. So anyway, fingers crossed. I'm really, really hoping that this is going to make a difference. If it does, they'll be able to start weaning off of one of the other medications. Not all of them, but one of them. One of them he has to take for a lifetime. Like there's, he just has to. He has to take it for a lifetime. So, yeah, anyway, so that's what's going on. So much going on. But yeah, hopefully, like I said, fingers crossed that Max will respond to this new treatment. I'm hoping and praying, because we're kind of like running out of options here. So I don't know, but I'll keep you guys posted. And now let's get into what sold on eBay. Okay, so first sale is 6 Mikasa Palatial Platinum dinner plates. These sold for $69.99 plus shipping. I had a whole lot of that and I parted it out, as I've mentioned before in videos. You guys know me. If you've been watching me for a while, you know in most cases I will part out dinnerware. I will part out flatware. There are certain times where I will sell it all together. Not dinnerware, usually. I rarely ever do that with dinnerware, but sometimes flatware. Okay, moving on. Next is a Royal Albert Old Country Roses teapot nightlight. It doesn't have the actual nightlight mechanism. It just has the cover, which is this little half teacup. Super cute though. That was a recent rainy day pickup. So that sold for 25 plus shipping. If I didn't say that already, I don't even know. I had so much stuff to do this morning before I even got down here to the warehouse. So like, as usual, I'm on the go all the time, doing this, doing that, taking care of this, taking care of that. So I never know what I'm talking about because I'm just always like, my brain's always jumping around to my to-do list and my done list and, you know, everything else. So anyway, and tomorrow I'm actually going to be on a Zoom call taping a podcast with someone. So I will let you know, I will let you guys know about that later on down the line before it comes out or whatever, but I was invited to be on like a reseller podcast type thing. So I'll keep you guys informed of that. But that's another thing I have to do today. I have never used Zoom. So I need, like, I know you're probably like, what? But, you know, in this kind of business, I don't have to use Zoom. So I'm like, I have to create an account today and test that out to make sure I'm ready for this call tomorrow. So yeah, I'm excited about it though. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted about that too. Anyway, next is a Polish pottery, Teresa Liana Trivet. This sold for $49.99 plus shipping. This came out of that expensive estate sale purchase when I purchased a whole bunch of this Polish pottery. So yeah, that was a good sale. Next is an American Girl Pleasant Company Samantha meat dress. This was made in Hungary, which I do think it makes this one a little bit more valuable. And it's not the newer American Girl. It is like the original Pleasant Company tag. This actually sat for a while in my death pile. Like I said, I've been trying to incorporate like death pile items, newer items, trying to get all this stuff listed. I was trying to clear off a table in my photo room, and this was on that table. So I listed it and it sold right away. So yeah, this sold for $35 plus shipping. Next is a set of 2 Longaberger Woven Traditions green dash bowls. These sold for $19.99 plus shipping. They came out of my large Longaberger haul last summer. Then I sold 3 Vera Bradley bags to the same buyer. She purchased this first one, which was a recent pickup. This Vera Bradley Lizzie crossbody bag in the rosewood pattern. This sold for $27.99 with free shipping. She also purchased this Vera Bradley rosewood cosmetic bag, also a recent flea market purchase. This one sold for $22.99 with free shipping. And lastly, this Vera Bradley sport compartment travel bag. This sold for $22. I think plus shipping on this one. Yes, $22 plus shipping. And that I listed this like last month, but yeah, it was also a fairly recent pickup, but not as recent as the other two. Okay, next I sold a Beekman 1802 Mega Milk facial oil. This sold for $35 with free shipping. This is the second one that sold. I had two of these. These were all recent pickups. It wasn't a day that I filmed. It was just kind of an afternoon. I was running around with Michelle locally, and I picked up a bunch of this Beekman stuff. This woman had a daughter who worked for the company, or works for the company. So yeah, she had a bunch of stuff. So I purchased a whole bunch of it. Anyway, moving on. Next is a Mexican pottery garden orb. I purchased two of these at the Goodwill. I forget why I was in that area. I don't remember. I think I was out shopping with Michelle. I think maybe we went after a rummage sale or something. I can't remember now at this point, but it was a fairly recent pickup, I believe. I've had so many recent pickups that it is definitely blurring together. Yeah, anyway, definitely a recent pickup though. I got two of these. This is the first one to sell, and it sold for $29.99 plus shipping. Next is a Longaberger Pottery small green loaf dish, new in box. It sold for $14.99 plus shipping. Then I sold the 6 Lenox Village pattern flats. They're like wall plaques, and they sold for $119 plus shipping. Now these had wear around the edges, and if they didn't, I would have priced them at least for $150 or maybe more. These sell very, very well. If you guys remember, I think it was like last month. I think it was sometime in May. I went to this townwide sale, and I found these at a yard sale. So they were in a video. So yeah, that was a really good sale. Next is 4 Reed & Barton Helena Maria dinner forks. These sold for $39.99 plus shipping. Again, it was a pattern. I parted out. I sold 2 of these sets of the forks. This is the last one to go. Next is an American Girl limited edition Sapphire Splendor Swarovski crystal. She's got crystals in her earrings, her crown. I think she's wearing some jewelry with some crystals. So this, I think this was the 2023 Christmas edition doll, I believe, like the limited edition that was released around the holiday. I believe this one was a 2023 one. Or either 22 or 23. I know last year was the silver doll. That one I have as well. I did purchase that one brand new, and I'm still waiting for that to sell. Actually, no. I think maybe that one I have was the 24. Maybe that one's the 23. I don't think I bought one this year. I think that one was the 23. This one might be the 22. I don't know. It doesn't even matter at this point, right? But anyhow, I purchased this at a yard sale. Again, I wasn't filming. I was just out to a couple random sales one day, and I purchased this for a really good price, and had some clothes in the box, which I separated and listed those by themselves. And this sold for $249.99. And this doll is used. If you could find this one new, you're in the money. This one is like a fan favorite. Everyone loves this particular doll. And she is beautiful. She is absolutely beautiful. I think I've had this listed for roughly 2 weeks, so it didn't take long to sell at all. All right, next is a Spider-Man LED nightlight. This sold for $12 with free shipping. I had a bunch of them. They're all sold now. Next is a Royal Albert Old Country Roses Petal Bowl. This sold for $27 plus shipping. This was a recent pickup. Next is a Gothic Halloween Horror Party room setter decoration. I don't know. This sold for $29 plus shipping. I don't even know where I got that. Next is a Coldwater Creek black sequined top. This sold for $14.99 plus shipping. Then I sold a Brooks Drive Plunge Sport Bra. This sold for $34.97 with free shipping. That was a recent pickup. I spoke about that where I picked up a whole bunch of stuff from someone who works at Brooks. That is the best thing when you can find a sale with someone who works at one of these factories. Oh, it's amazing. And they just have like tons of it. This guy was a little pricey, but I think in the end he ended up giving me a really good deal. Plus I got a brand new pair of sneakers for myself. Like I said, I did mention this before. So next is a Lily Pulitzer catch-all tray. This was a fairly recent pickup as well. It sold for $22.99 with free shipping. Also a recent yard sale pickup, this Lululemon Everywhere belt bag in Artifact Brown. It is a canvas bag. This sold for $39.99 plus shipping, new with the tags. And then I sold one Richfield Brick Tailored Drapery. This sold for $30 on best offer plus shipping. I have one more of these, 2 available. Next to Kathy, a viewer. She purchased a bunch of stuff, and I mentioned this in yesterday's video. She purchased this beautiful Selkirk paperweight, which was a recent pickup. Again, not on video. Guys, I have to get better at posting on Instagram and YouTube Shorts because I do pick up, I don't film everywhere I go. Like, it's just not, I do enjoy filming. I do enjoy filming for YouTube. I love doing it, but I don't love doing it all the time. Sometimes you need a break. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, you can't be on all the time, right? Sometimes I need an off switch. And sometimes for me, that is just kind of like relaxing, strolling around, not thinking about making content, not thinking about the angle of my camera, which clearly sometimes I don't anyway, because, you know, sometimes I'm looking at something and the camera's like the other way. That happens. But no, I'm just saying, like, I don't film everything. And you guys know that. And, you know, I'd probably have content for every single day, I guess, if I did. I can't keep up with all that, honestly. I think this is enough right now. But anyway, I would like to at least start snapping a couple photos or even doing like, you know, just something so I can post more of those kind of finds. And I've said that before, but I still haven't really incorporated it like I have wanted to. So we'll see if I get better at that one day. I might just start doing it and just, you know, posting whatever random crap I want to post on like Instagram and stuff like that. So, you know, we'll see. I'm not, my stuff won't be highly curated by any means. Anyway, I have to stop chatting. I still have to ship. I got down here late this morning because of a bunch of, you know, like life things that I was trying to take care of before I got here. So yeah, let's get through this. Anyway, Kathy bought this beautiful paperweight. She also purchased, oh, and that was $39.99 plus shipping. She also purchased this Lennox Easter chick. This sold for $12.99 plus shipping. Next, and I combined shipping for her. Next is this Winnie the Pooh 4th of July hinged box. That sold for $25. Then Kathy also purchased this Lennox pumpkin gourd salt and pepper with a black leaf. I love this set. I absolutely love this set. I am really surprised this didn't sell sooner. Yeah, that sold for $36 plus shipping. And then she also purchased this Douglas Russberry Rottweiler figurine for $10. So cute. This little guy is adorable. I used to have a Rottweiler. Now I have small dogs, but way, way back in the day when my oldest daughter was born, well, before she was born, I had him before she was even born. And he was just a huge, lovable clown of a dog. He was just so goofy and just, and it's funny because it's one of those breeds that people are typically leery of or afraid of. But I mean, he would sleep with my daughter like in her toddler bed. Like once she moved out of the crib and into the bed, like he would sleep with her. Like this giant, lovable goofball. He never once, no, I mean, he would not touch her toys. She could leave her toys all over the floor. Like he was just such a good boy. He was such a good boy. And yeah, I have very fond memories of little Juno, or I should say big Juno, because he was gigantic. I used to be scared though, like when my mom would come over. My mom is so small and tiny and petite. And he would jump up on her. And I mean, this is many years ago. Like now he would, are you kidding me? Oh, she'd never be able to be around him now. I mean, well, he's no longer around, but he would jump up and just like wrap his arms around her shoulders. He was just, and I had to, keep him down or whatever. He was just gigantic, but he never meant any harm. Anyway, so that made me think about him. So anyway, I love Rottweilers. Next is a Swarovski mouse, a small mouse, and this is so cute. And that sold for $49.99 plus shipping. So I appreciate all of your purchases, Kathy. That little Swarovski mouse, I purchased a whole lot of that stuff a while back, and a lot of it sold like as soon as I listed it. So I got a couple stragglers, but yeah, that little guy is so cute. All right, moving on. Next is a pair of Dansko Lulu Mary Janes. These were a fairly recent pickup. I think they were in a rummage sale video. I think that's where they came from. These sold for $49.99 plus shipping. Next is a pair of Cole Haan sandals. These sold for $23 plus shipping. These sold once and got returned for fit. So yeah, this is the second time they've sold. They came from a yard sale. They were in a video. Next, I sold this 1985 My Buddy doll. This came from a rummage sale. This sold for $35 plus shipping. Then we have a men's Boohooman, I guess. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Aztec patterned tapestry jacket. I don't know. You guys know I love the funky stuff. I say it all the time. I saw this and a couple others at a yard sale. They were, I think they were new, if I remember correctly. And I just thought it was cool and funky, and this one sold for, on best offer, for $35 plus shipping. Next is 4 Longaberger Woven Traditions Paprika Wine and Dinner Plates. These sold for $59.99 plus shipping. Those actually came from a yard sale. Then I sold this Chefin Complete Strawberry Stem Gem Slicer and container set. This sold for $25 plus shipping. That's a QVC item. I almost didn't even remember having that. Then I sold a pair of Asics Gel Excite men's shoes. These were a retail arbitrage item. These sold for $75 plus shipping. Next is a pair of Patrizia by Spring Step, a pair of wedge heel sandals. They sold for $24 plus shipping. Then I sold a pair of Niveau by, I don't even know, Langtot? No, I don't know how to say that. But anyway, these Bermuda shorts sold for $18.99 plus shipping. And then I sold a pair of Skechers Foamies. These were a fairly recent pickup. I know they were in a video. These sold for $49.99 plus shipping. And then I sold an American Girl paper doll book. This sold for $14.99 with free shipping. Next is a Banana Fairy, Enesco Little Kitchen Fairies figurine. These were all picked up last year at an estate sale on my way to Massachusetts. This sold for $21 on best offer plus shipping. Next is a La Mer Regenerating Serum. This sold for $199.99 plus shipping. I have 2 left of these. I sold out of all of the eye serum that I had. And then I was like trying to read a message. I shouldn't do that while I'm trying to film. I see it come through and I'm like, Anyway, next, I just listed this morning. This was from 2 rummage sale videos ago. This Mexican crescent moon pottery piece, which I just picked up. This went to Lori, who is a viewer. She actually purchased one of the suns from me, so this is going to complement that piece. This sold for $24.99 plus shipping. Thank you, Lori. I hope you love it. And lastly, I just sold this Pier 1 Confetti Martini Margarita glass pitcher. This sold for $32 plus shipping. I purchased this set last fall at a yard sale. I got the pitcher and I got the martini glasses. They're so cool looking, but I did separate it. I separated the pitcher and the martini glasses, and yeah, I think I still have the glasses. The pitcher was the first to sell, and I thought the glasses were going to be the first to sell, but I was wrong. So anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up this week's What Sold video. It is longer than I thought. I thought I was going to breeze through this real quick. I did not. All right, guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye.